Secret to what? The secret to getting on the FYP
The
page?
secret to finding your people.
Finding your people. Oh, just being authentic and being yourself. I think we will always attract who we're meant to. A lot of people are really nervous and scared about joining this type of opportunity. A lot of people think, oh, I don't know if I could go live like that. I don't know if I could do that. And it is something that it will feel a little outside of your comfort zone when you first start. But we work with you, and as a team, we come in and support you to make those first few lives a lot easier. It's not going to be as scary when it's not like I can tell you there's even nights right now that I'll go live on TikTok, and because I don't go live on here a ton, I'm talking and no one's responding to me. Like, but I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm good. I can talk to myself for about hours and hours. It's okay if nobody responds. But some people clam up when that happens, and it makes you feel like, oh my goodness, okay, nobody's talking to me. Well, our team and all of the amazing men and women that we have on our team, in those first few lives, we're going to join you. You're going to see us helping you, assisting you in that chat. And it's not going to feel so kind of foreign. It's going to feel like you're talking to us, but it's just in a different way. So if that's one of the things that you're nervous about, in my 5 years, there hasn't been anyone that I have not been able to coach through that fear. And most of the people get 6 months in, a year in, and it is like the most amazing transformation to witness is to someone to have that first live. I even had the nerves on my first live and for the first few months, and to see the transformation that people make from your first few lives to a year in, it really becomes second nature and you become so comfortable. Most reps will tell you they actually look forward to going live for more reasons than just sales. I've had a few reps that have really bad anxiety, and sometimes being live can actually get them through like an anxiously bad anxiety. And sometimes being live can actually get them through like an anxious session, because they're actually able to kind of not focus on that anxiety. They're able to focus on the people in the chat. I've done that a couple of times before early on when I was first starting. It's like sometimes just the stress of getting ready for a live caused me to kind of get in that state. And then I would go live and I would realize 20 minutes into the live, I wasn't even thinking about my anxiety anymore. It went away because I was just, distracting myself. So there's also people that, maybe they don't have a ton of people in their family that they talk to. Maybe they work inside their home. And this becomes such a social outlet for them that, again, they look forward to turning on their camera because they know so and so and so and so and so and so is going to be there to talk to them, and you develop these relationships that are honestly stronger than family. I have more friends that I have never met in person, that are some of my biggest supporters in life. And I met them solely through this type of connection on camera. So I would say if that's one of your main fears holding you back, just give it a try. Yeah. Just give it a try. Let us help you through it, and stick with it enough to get to the point where you're not going to be kind of consumed by those nerves and all the things. Get to the point where you're comfortable, then make the decision. If you ever want to walk away and you decide Bomb Party isn't for you, you will be able to sell the inventory that you bought, hands down, either back to our company or back to another rep. If you want to, you're not going to get stuck with inventory. Our company doesn't have it. You'll have to take a little bit of a restocking fee, but you can get your investment back if you decide to walk away. So I feel like you don't have really anything to lose and everything to gain. So just move through the fear, feel it, but do it and take the chance.
Yeah.
Tanya says you can't go live yet. Tanya, is that due to not having it helping you, assisting you in that chat. And it's not going to feel so kind of foreign. It's going to feel like you're talking to us, but it's just in a different way. So if that's one of the things that you're nervous about, in my 5 years, there hasn't been anyone that I have not been able to coach through that fear. And most of the people get 6 months in, a year in, and it is like the most amazing transformation to witness is to someone to have that first live. I even had the nerves on my first live and for the first few months. And to see the transformation that people make from your first few lives to a year in, it really becomes second nature and you become so comfortable. Most reps will tell you they actually look forward to going live for more reasons than just sales. I've had a few reps that have really bad anxiety, and sometimes being live can actually get them through an anxious session because they're actually able to kind of not focus on that anxiety. They're able to focus on the people in the chat. I've done that a couple of times before early on when I was first starting. It's like sometimes just the stress of getting ready for a live caused me to kind of get in that state. And then I would go live and I would realize 20 minutes into the live, I wasn't even thinking about my anxiety anymore. It went away because I was just, distracting myself. So there's also people that, maybe they don't have a ton of people in their family that they talk to. Maybe they work inside their home. And this becomes such a social outlet for them that, again, they look forward to turning on their camera because they know so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so is going to be there to talk to them, and you develop these relationships that are honestly stronger than family. I have more friends that I have never met in person, that are some of my biggest supporters in life. And I met them solely through this type of connection on camera. So I would say if that's one of your main fears holding you back, just give it a try. Yeah. Just give. Yeah. Tanya says you can't go live yet. Tanya, is that due to not having 1,000 followers? Because I will tell you, we do have, at least when you join the Boss Girl community, we literally have trainings that help you to learn how to get those followers up and get them up fast. I have coached people to 1,000 followers in 4 days flat. 4 days flat, and created brand new accounts myself and got them to 1,000 followers in 4 to 5 days. If you follow the tips and techniques that we have in our, the 4 of us that you see right here have created an app and a website completely for our team. When you join any of the 4, under anyone that you see here, you are gaining access to that. And there are more trainings, more resources than you're going to know what to do with. It is amazing. We have really worked hard so that you aren't left, guessing what to do next, or how do I do something? Everything is right there.
Meg says, I don't even mind going live. The part is sitting in an empty room and not having conversation. So Meg, I think Gina really hit on that point. Is basically you have to start feeling comfortable talking to the camera, even if nobody is talking back to you. Because here's the thing. I always say, ignore the number that you see there, even if it's 0. Like, even if you're on the book
the box, guys,
and it's not, there's nothing there, that doesn't mean somebody's not watching. Somebody is always watching, even outside of the box. And not to mention, I can tell you in the last year, for me, myself, maybe they have as well experienced this. I have people who have been silent watchers, and they'll say, I'm a silent watcher, Moni. I've been watching you for 9 months. And I'm like, wow, that's a long time to watch me and say nothing. But it's because suddenly they felt a trust factor somewhere along that 9 months. And suddenly they saw a blingy, sparkly beautifulness, and they said, it connected. Trust and a need that they felt spark them, and suddenly they saw a blingy, sparkly beautifulness, and they said it connected. Trust and a need that they felt spark them to say, I'm going to buy that sparkle from Moni. And perhaps they never come back, or maybe they do come back. But in that opportunity of having an order for someone, that's when you can utilize it and decide, are you going to write them a little note on their receipt? It doesn't have to be fancy. You can use a printout of the receipt. You can do a little tiny something and just say, thank you so much, just to let them know that that mattered to you, that that spark of trust was mattered in your life. It really made a difference. And I'll tell you, you're not the only one who feels like you're talking to an empty room. There will be times where, like, even us seasoned people, we have moments where we're like, what's happening? Like, why am I, like, who cares who's listening to me? I'm tired, I'm not going to hit live, nobody cares if I'm there anyways. Like, we all go through these thoughts, but that's also what we're going to start working on, is positive mindset, because mindset is part of the battle too. I think really, when it comes to this business, it's really all about mindset. But going back to one point, because Meg specifically has just joined the team recently. And let me see that somebody else says 2 days over here. Thanks to Moni. Oh yeah. Meg got to 1,000, you guys, in 2 days, thanks to the one-on-one training I gave her. Yes. So if you guys are thinking about doing this, just know our community has extensive techniques on how to get to 1,000. That should not be a fear that holds you back. How do you talk about if nobody is there? Okay. So, and Lee, Dawn, do you have anything? Like, I have, me and Gina probably talk all day.
I want to go back to Meg really quick. Meg too. It's kind of our lives. It's not just the live. It's a whole package of our content. And so we got to look at the whole picture, not just the individual lives. So that's something that we're actually working on, is some content stuff coming to kind of help us. Because yes, it's is some content stuff coming to kind of help us, because yes, it's really a whole package. I know the lives is like where we see everything, but really it's about the postings and those connections that build it all in together, because we can't just hit the live. I don't know how many times you're going live, but let's just say even just 2 days.
She's very consistent. She's actually does both platforms. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. But I mean, just going live, just 1-2 days a week is not enough the way the algorithm is. We have to be posting content. We have to be engaged, and not just posting content, but we have to be engaging in content too. And so, yeah, so it's really a whole picture. But I know if you sit down with Moni and have her look at what you've done already, and you guys, she can help you analyze everything together to kind of help work on it.
Yeah.
What to talk about. Whatever you like, whatever you're into, that's what you need to talk about. Don't talk about what you think people want to hear. If you are into anime, talk about anime. If you are into sports, talk about sports. If you just saw the coolest movie ever, talk about that, and just talk about random stuff, and just keep talking. And that is the hardest thing. It is. I've had a lot of lives where I've sat there and I was like, nobody's watching, or I can see the numbers and people are on there and they're just not talking. But I am that person that I watch lives and I don't type, because that's not my thing.
You like to watch.
I like to watch. Like, even like if you guys text message me, I'm actually messaging you guys from my computer. I don't do I can't do it, but I love text messages because I can do it on my computer. But yeah, I am one of those silent people that sits and watches. And it's not because I have nothing to say. It's just because that is not my thing to have to sit there and type it all out. But talk about whatever brings you joy. Whatever brings you joy in life, that's what you got to talk about.
One thing that brings me joy, and because my brain is like not there at the end of the day sometimes, is I always say go online and check out if you can get some conversation starter cards, something that you feel can help you bring up topics. This one in particular is called Boss Girl. Isn't that funny? This one actually is called Boss Girl, and this one is really cool. Like, it's called Boss Girl. Isn't that funny? This one actually is called Boss Girl, and this one is really cool. Like, I'll just give you an example. Okay, like this one, right? It says, you got this. And then in the back, it says, think of a time when you handled something like a pro. What did you do? Come up with 3 out of the box solutions for what you're currently facing. And sometimes I'll just go in here, I'll pull a thing out, and I'll just start talking about whatever it is. Do you girls have anything like that?
I do. Where is it? It's a table game.
Now,
oh gosh.
my tip, I have games that I do as well. But one of the things that I coach my team on all the time, if you're looking for something to say, keep getting jewelry that you already have
show
here
off the
and
jewelry.
hold it up and show it and just act like you talk about the jewelry, because that's what we're selling. So if I'm sitting here and, I have some of the rings that are in my collection, yes, you just hold them up. You can never run out of things to say about jewelry if you just keep putting it up and putting it up and putting it up. There were times in the beginning of my, journey with Bomb Party that my arm would literally get tired because I was doing this so much, but then the order would come in. I always say people don't buy what they can't see. So we're all visual creatures, and we can sit there and talk about things. That's great to fill in gaps, but every few minutes, just put some more jewelry in front of it, put some more jewelry in front of it. When you hold something up and you can see it, and you talk about it, that's what is a lot of the times the most enticing thing when you get on what?
That one looks like a locket.
Oh, this is the Ouija board.
Oh,
you remember from?
Okay, so that's like, I thought that was a new one.
Ended up.
What is that?
Remember, they ended up pulling this one
they
and not.
pulled them. Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah,
got
I
it.
was able to get one. Yeah, I was excited
and I'll tell you
about
too,
that.
like
But
looking
yeah,
at
see,
this.
look how pretty.
I was gonna say in a lot like looking at this, like if we wouldn't show the jewelry or say the jewelry, you wouldn't even.
They ended up.
What is that?
Remember, they ended up pulling this
Yeah,
one
they
and
pulled
not.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah,
got
I
it.
was able to get one. Yeah, I was excited
and I'll tell
about
you
that.
too, like looking
But yeah,
at
see,
this.
look how pretty.
I was gonna say in a lot like looking at this, like if we wouldn't show the jewelry or say the jewelry, you wouldn't even know that we had jewelry. So she's right. If you're bringing it forward, they know that you've got the jewelry too.
Yeah, so like Meg, she just said, I've been thinking about trivia questions, but it doesn't work if no one's there to answer. Yeah, I wouldn't go straight to things like that. Like the reason I like things that are like topics is because like I'll take the topic and then what I do is what Gina said. Which thank you for pointing that out, Gina, because I do it without even thinking about it. I'll say, oh, okay, my topic is what's, the hardest challenge I've ever faced. I'll be like, you know what? I just talk like I'm talking to my best friend. You know what, you guys, one of the hardest challenges I've ever faced is believing in myself. It's so hard sometimes to believe in yourself. Look at this amazing thing, Druzy drop pendant, RBP 4141. It's a lab created amethyst Druzy genuine rock crystal and diamond cubic zirconia rose gold plating. And it is a suggested 134. I used to not want to wear jewelry sometimes because I didn't believe in myself. It was so hard. Maybe I didn't feel pretty. And now I do surprise jewelry and I'll talk about my why and my story. It leads me and then I come back. Isn't this Druzy amazing? Look at the way the setting is. Look at that beautiful middle stone. Look at how it's dropped down and check out how it moves. And so I talk about things while I'm showing the jewelry at the same time. And I guess that's something that I've instinctually done. And I didn't really even realize that I do it until Gina just brought it up that, hey, people want to see. And once people can see, then they understand like, oh, they actually have a physical product and maybe something sparks joy in them that they're like, I want that piece in my life, or I want to try for that piece. Yeah. I wonder why you guys are restricted. It's super, super strange because it wasn't restricted before. It wasn't restricted
Every
when
time
I
I go
first.
live in the last week, every time.
When you joined me,
But when I started though, it wouldn't let me join you guys initially because I had already put those settings on. Because I was like, I'm not. When I started though, it wouldn't let me join you guys initially because I had already put those settings on. Because I was like, I'm not going live without putting those settings on because I know I'm gonna get whacked at it. And
I
then,
think it has something to do with vocabulary. I'm be honest.
I don't know. I only have I don't know because
Meg said she got restricted last week and she thought that, and it could be that there's like this overall AI algorithm, something happening, you guys. Like there's a lot of things
and that's
happening.
why I was, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't like being on restriction, but I was like, it doesn't bother me putting those settings on because let's weed out what we don't want anyway. But
Yeah,
it
true.
stinks.
Hi, Sarah. Welcome in. So, if any of you guys are curious about what we do, now is really your opportunity to ask questions. If you're a rep and you're watching and you don't have a supportive downline, if we are able to answer something, we are happy to answer. We don't give extensive training during these lives because that's what we give to our team. However, we do answer questions the best that we can while we're here. So don't feel afraid to say something or say hello. We welcome everybody, whether you are a part of this community, you just found us, whatever it is, you are very much welcome here. It doesn't matter your gender, your race, anything. You guys can say hello and we will happily be welcoming to you. Hello.
So Tammy, you had said something earlier about not knowing what to talk about when you were on your live. So I hope that answered some of your questions too. So if you have anything else, let us know.
Well, good. That's, I think, one of the biggest fears I've seen with people and apprehensiveness about joining is going live. And it's like, what do I say? Like, I think everybody, that's a huge fear that I've seen.
We still go through it.
I mean, I guess I just always think everyone does not like me anyway. So I'm just like, and then on top of it, I'm really weird. So that's fun.
I appreciate that. I love you.
I heard a rep before say something about e-wallet. Janine, yes, we do have an e-wallet. I'm going to go ahead. It's fun.
I appreciate that. I love you.
I heard a rep before say something about e-wallet. Janine, yes, we do have an e-wallet. I'm going to go ahead and let one of the girls explain that. Go ahead, my friends.
So our e-wallet, like when we have our sales, that's where our funds go into, and that we use that money to purchase our inventory when we need to replace it. And that's also where we get our income and stuff is from our e-wallet.
And it's wonderful because, like, if I were to have a sale, like right now, someone goes on, buys something, it takes a couple minutes to process. But once I got off this live, I could use that money tonight to buy new inventory if I wanted, or if I didn't want new inventory. Now, today's Thursday, so I got to wait a week because our money gets dumped into our Pay Quicker account once a week. So next week, this time, if I didn't use that money, it just gets dumped into my Pay Quicker. And then you can use that. So Pay Quicker, think of it just like a bank account. It's wonderful because the BP gave us our own little, I guess, debit card is the best way to describe it. It's not a credit card, it's a debit card. But I love it because I've been just dumping my money in there. And I tell you, since we've had that, it's been so much easier for me to make sure that my finances, as far as my business, are going well because all of my inventory just gets paid from right there. I don't have to worry about anything. I love the system now that we have. But yeah, the e-wallet's nice. Super nice.
My debit card to buy supplies. Like I need a room
to buy supplies.
A couple other things for my business. So I used my debit card and purchased it out of my money that I made. So
and I have a separate bank account for my business, but I feel like just the Pay Quicker to me just, I don't know if it's just kind of like it's out of the way and it's in its own little pot, but I really like the system that we have.
Yeah, Lady Skull says, I'm interested in joining, but I don't even have 2,000 followers. Any advice? So we were just discussing that our boss community, we have techniques where that's not a worry. Once you join, you'll get in-depth training and you'll be able to hit 1,000 followers within max 4 days, really, if you put in the work. The longest I've ever seen somebody take, because they did it like real part